Hello, welcome back to another edition of Hobby News Daily Hot Corner. I am Danny Black, and I thought it would be an important time to bring in a local card shop owner. And I met this gentleman at Berlin Sports Cards. This is Loren, and you know what, we actually he reached out, and we've stayed in touch, and yeah, I really wanted to bring you on today because I had a blast when we met in person and just want to kind of get your feel on what's going on because you have your pulse right on the customer. So, say hello, introduce yourself and your shop.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, pleasure meeting you. Your boys took me for some deals there, but I thoroughly enjoyed that. I've got my name's Loren. I've got a very small shop in Berlin, Berlin, Maryland. Um, I'm a I grew up collecting cards and playing sports, and that's kind of what I'm still doing today. So it's just it's a passion project for me. Not a lot of shops in our area, so I thought, hey, I'm just going to start small and exist. And by existing, I'll see how it goes. I'll test the customers out, and it's been really successful. So it's been a lot of fun. Um, the work doesn't seem like work, and I've really enjoyed it. So.
Well, I found you for the same reason. There's nothing in the area, and it was a diamond in the rough. So it was great to find you. One of the things I learned is you deal in wax, so you definitely have wax available, and it led to one of the questions I always wanted to ask a shop owner. Um, I know a lot of people open packs in front of you. In fact, when we were there was a gentleman that was, I think, breaking a hobby box at the table. What is the best card that you've ever pulled out of a pack in the store, or one of your clients have ever pulled? What's the best card ever that you've ever seen pulled out of a pack?
So I'm a little bit weird. So since I've been doing this, I'm focused on other things. I don't open a whole lot of stuff. Um, when I'll tell you a couple stories. So when I was a kid, I didn't even know what I had, but I found out later in life. When I was a kid, I opened up one of those Kobe tribute, not a Kobe tribute, like the LeBron tribute was an homage to the former Kobe card that looked like that. I had
Right.
an upper deck Kobe card that was like with a gold border on it. And around COVID, when a ton of investors were jumping into the hobby, I ended up selling that for just under $1,000, and I've had that since I was probably like 12 years old. So that was a cool story of something that I just didn't know I didn't know I had. I probably rode my bike and picked it up at a grocery store at some point, but
Right.
that was a cool story. And then the biggest card we've pulled here at Berlin Sports Cards was out of a Panini One box. I had a customer pull the 2020 black one of one RPA Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
A few YouTube folks had picked it up, but it was right before the Super Bowl. The gentleman drove to Golden himself and dropped it off, and the week of the Super Bowl he netted 60K. So
Wow.
it was great timing. It was the perfect storm. I was a little bit sick, but I was happy for the gentleman. Um, and then recently, actually, I've got it right here. I was on vacation, sitting on my phone, and I did happen to land this guy.
Yeah, it's like
So that
kaboom.
is a Stone Cold Steve Austin Kaboom.
Nice.
Don't usually open stuff, but again, I was out of town and just kind of taking some risks. So I got lucky. So those are a few things that have been success stories for us.
Well, you definitely got to tell people to come to your store because if you've got the magic touch there, you want to keep opening at Berlin. Uh, so I want to know more about what you collect personally. You said you've always been a fan, so I guess not just what you collect. Really, what sports do you follow? What are your kind of personal interests?
So I've always been a hoops guy. I run an AAU basketball club. My son is a freshman, so I'm into the competitive basketball world. I've always been a hooper. Um, I grew up in Northeast Ohio around the time of LeBron. I was a sophomore, he was a junior. So I was a basketball head always. So in Ohio, LeBron was the mecca. OJ Mayo was coming up around the same time, so those two names were very big. And I did run into OJ Mayo in high school when we played his team, and they destroyed us. But anyways, basketball has always been first for me. It's kind of like where my heart's at. As far as cards go, I kind of follow the thing that my life has always done. I'm just kind of chasing basketball all the time, but football is kind of my second. I probably follow baseball the third most, and then wrestling is a close fourth. As far as what I collect, it's kind of what I've followed my whole life. So I like Ohio sports teams. I grew up in Ohio. I went to Ohio State. I like the Browns. I like the Guardians or the
By the way,
Indians.
I knew that, and I had you on anyway, just for the record.
Thank you. So a lot of people use me as their trash can. So they bring in all the Browns cards they don't want, and they dump them in, and I'm fine with that. So I like Browns cards. I like some collegiate Ohio State stuff. I like Cavs. I like Indians. Stuff like that. So
Since you've
the
opened
more obscure, the better.
No, absolutely. When I collect, I love random and weird are two of my favorite things to collect. Since you've opened the store, what has surprised you the most just dealing with the customers and the clientele? What has surprised you, good or bad?
I've been blown away by the amount of good people who just come and they want to do business with me, and they appreciate someone who's running a store and is just honest with them. So this is one of those hobbies where everyone's trying to get something for cheaper or for free, and everyone's always wheeling and dealing. I've just always wanted to be honest with folks, right? I'm a shop. I don't pay full price for things. These are things I tell people on a regular basis. I want to be honest with them about my strategy and why I can and can't do things. So I've been really honest with people. A lot of times I explain to them that your best bet is to go elsewhere and do this either by yourself on eBay to maximize your funds or do things like that. And I think folks have really just appreciated that part about me. And the amount of things that have come my way and that I've been able to strategically buy, hold, and turn has just been amazing. And it's not I'm not doing that out of a zealous heart or anything like that. It's just people love to support, I think, what I'm doing, and everyone is collecting cards. I think people want a place to go. So when you build a place, they've just kind of came, and it's been a lot of fun.
That's awesome. You mentioned you were involved in AAU basketball. I know you're a basketball nut. I don't want to answer for you, but if you won the lottery, what's your whale card? What's your dream card?
Oh boy, man, that's a good question.
I mean, I don't want to be a cliche.
If I win the lottery,
rookie.
Well, that's on the list. I'm building that set as well, but I'm waiting to the end to get the Jordan rookie. I don't know. It would probably be something that you wouldn't see in an everyday run-of-the-mill store. It'd probably be something that there'd be a story about. Like, so for example, it'd be something like this, maybe. A while ago, Ken Golden sat down with Drake, and he opened up some Immaculate or maybe Flawless. I forget what it was. He opened up, my favorite player of all time growing up was Penny Hardaway. I fell in love with basketball because I watched Penny Hardaway. He was a magician. He opened up the NBA logo man, Penny Hardaway, I believe, out of that. So like for me, I'd be like, hey, yo, Drake, let me get with your people. You get with my people. Let's do a meet and greet and let me buy this penny from you. And
right.
that would
I don't want the triple logo, man. I just want the Penny Hardaway.
Yeah, no, that would be a dream for me because not only is it a great card, but I'd be building a relationship with somebody I admire, and that's the kind of stuff I like about the hobby. So it would be something like that has more to do than with just a card.
Very cool. 5 years from now, where do you kind of think the hobby will be?
Well, that's a good question considering the time we're in right now. So
yep. That's why I put it out 5 years. I was given a little room to breathe for everybody.
Yeah. I mean, the perfect answer is I don't know. I mean, I think everyone's going to have to keep adjusting. Some folks are in a position now where they're not going to be able to continue to do the things that they're doing now in the next couple of years. I think we're seeing that with some of the stuff that you've seen flowing through some of the store contracts and stuff that's out there on the internet. I think the new licensing that's coming is going to change a lot of structures. And I think the experience and what people as a selling feature is what people are going to be chasing after the most. A lot of times the products are the biggest thing about the hobby that we put out there. We promote, we want people to come buy the cards, hit the kaboom, do all those things. But really, to me, it's always been about relationships and people. I think the experience is going to be everything meeting forward, because people are going to have a lot of places to go, a lot of bigger places to go than little shops or even big shops. They're going to go places where they like people and they feel accepted and they have a good time. So I think the relationship part is going to be the cream that rises to the top, and those people are going to stand out.
I think you're right, and I think you can already see that just in the success of shops, that have come up in the last couple of years, like yours, where how quickly that community around you, wanted something. I think you can also see it from the success of card shows around the country, the regional
Yeah.
shows, the amount of shows that have popped up. I mean, even small shows in vacation towns get small card shows now,
Yeah.
and that's cool. So I hope that interaction and people like dealing with, I think face to face in the card world. Even though online obviously is always going to dominate, I think the face to face is never going anywhere.
Yeah, I think there's some magic. There's some magic when people get together and they do it when you do it with other people, it's always better. That's where the magic is.
Yeah, absolutely. So where can people find you, and anything else they should know about Berlin Sports Cards?
Yeah, so where you can find me, I've got an Instagram page, Berlin Sports Cards. I have a Facebook group, Berlin Sports Cards. The website is not done yet. It's been a long time coming. It's been slow.
They always are.
A little bit frustrated about the website, if you can't tell, but it's coming. And what else do you need to know about Berlin Sports Cards? It comes with there's a lot of flaws to my shop, just like any others. When you came with your boys and your wife, you have to climb some stairs. I call it a tree house. So I'm on a second floor. I'm in kind of an office building type structure. So there's a lot of things that aren't typical about it, but I try to make it worth it for people. So, just like we talked about wanting to collect the obscure, I think there's a little bit of magic too in finding the obscure spots like mine. So I kind of like that. And even when people grumble at me a little bit about it, I just kind of laugh it off and be like, hey, the exercise is no charge, that it's on me.
The cards aren't that heavy to carry down.
Yeah. But even the steps, I get older guys complaining about the steps and this and that and all this stuff. And I'm like, you know what? Don't even worry about it. I won't charge you for it. And most people can get over it pretty quick. So I don't know. I just think, I think if you're in the Ocean City, Berlin, Maryland area, and you do a little bit of research and you check out reviews and you just look around and you come check me out, I think people would, will be happy they came. And if nothing else, I'd be happy I met them. So.
Well, I appreciate it. I will definitely be seeing you later this summer again. I appreciate you hopping on, and the Hobby News Daily crowd always appreciates talking to store owners and LCS owners. So thank you very much.
Yeah, and I'll say before we go, your son was the first kid ever to have me giving up dollars on a product over a base card flip. I'd never seen that before. I was very impressed by that. So
I will pass it along. He'll be very proud.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Loren. Appreciate it. Have a good one. And everybody else, check out hobbynewsdaily.com, and we'll see you next time on the Hot Corner.